Hello, hello. Okay, there you go. That's why. Wrong feed. Even YouTube is like, yo, your thing doesn't have any bitrate. That's because it's not even putting audio through. Alrighty. Let a few minutes go by since I did say 2 o'clock, but I was a little delayed because I was trying to finish the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct. I was watching it myself. And also because right when it's funny because I finished the Direct 2 5 minutes before 2 o'clock, so I'm like, alright, perfect. Right when I finished the Switch 2 Direct, my bowels decided to say something different. I'm like, oh, God. So yeah, had to go take care of that. But welcome to the stream, anybody that's watching right now. I still don't have a starting soon screen, even after all this time. But guess who's back? Guess who's back? McFrozen Nuggets, welcome to stream. Despite his issues, that symbiote Spider-Man is easily my most hyped figure of the year. Hopefully this will open the doors for more figures based off the older Spider-Man movies. I can see that argument, but I do have some things to say. I'm going to wait a little while before we jump into that Marvel Legends. In fact, while I wait a little longer, let me bring up the Marvel Legends stream so I can skim through it. And frankly, we're not going to spend too much time on that Marvel Legends stream. Only because there's really only like 2 or 3 things that I really want to talk about. Everything else was just kind of supplementary to the people who were stoked for it. Nerdy Daddy. That Switch Direct was pretty awesome. It was pretty solid. Like I said, prior to this, to going live right now, was finishing it up. And yeah, overall, I was actually pretty happy with it. A good chunk of information. I was actually pretty surprised with how much they talked about the Switch 2's capabilities. Genuinely surprised by what the Switch 2 can do as far as fidelity. 4K 60 docked? I honestly thought that was wishful thinking, yet it can do 4K 60 docked, 1080p 120. Well, the 120 I think is docked. 1080p 60 handheld. And I'm like, yeah, if you guys want to stay competitive with the Steam Deck, you gotta do that. But at the same time, me thinking that Nintendo's gonna be the stubborn bitches that they often tend to be in the market and just do their own thing, there was still, like I said, I was hoping for it, but I wasn't counting on it, to be quite honest. So to see those specs get listed during the overview, I was like, oh goddamn. And the faster storage, quadrupling the storage at the base level, going from 32 to 256. Is that quadruple? Actually, no, I think that's like 8 times. No, that's 8 times. What am I thinking? That's 8 times more. Yeah, there was an awful lot of really great things about the hardware in and of itself. The only thing I look at and go, yeah, I don't know if this is really going to be utilized the way that they intended, but the whole mouse functionality, I think is a neat little concept, but I feel like developers using that mouse functionality is going to be similar to when the first Switch came out and ARMS came out, and they were doing this with the Joy-Cons and the HD Rumble, and then after literally like 6 months or so, we never really saw it again. I'm calling it right now. I know it's a bold prediction, but I'm calling it by the end of the year, we're barely going to see games really take advantage of that mouse functionality, because you know who takes advantage of mouse functionality? PC players. They're not going to be here. And if they are here, they're going to play the Switch 2 in the traditional format, which also brings in what they're doing with like the Mario Party, or the elevated version of the Mario Party. With the camera functionality, like you could put yourself in the game, and the whole time I'm like, can I just get these things out of the way? I want to be able to see the gameplay. I don't want to see myself. I don't. And the closest to where it looks kind of natural is where they come out from the pipes, but outside of that, I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. So overall, I thought the Switch 2 Direct was pretty cool, and some neat reveals. Interesting that interesting that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be cross console. It's going to be on both Switch and Switch 2. But they did have some Switch 2 anchors at the end there. The Donkey Kong game surprisingly looks neat. I'm actually intrigued by the Donkey Kong game. I thought it looked kind of nice. Um, the the not Bloodborne, uh, being exclusive to Switch too. I was like, that's actually kind of bold. I didn't think that they would do it. It's not coming out until next year. I'm gonna strangely, I feel the need to predict that it's gonna come out like in the early of next year, like March, either February or March. I just can't shake the feeling that it's probably gonna be that. But at the same time, who knows? But the Switch 2 overall pretty solid. It's MSRP'd 450 for the specs and the technology and what it offers. I'm like 450, nice. I would have preferred 400, but I feel like they needed to have that 4-digit in there somewhere. So they bumped it to 450, and I'm like, stings a little bit more, but I'm still willing. Once we got to 500, I would have been like, oh, okay, calm down. Like, I'd rather take the 500 and put it towards a Steam Deck OLED again. But at 450, I'm like, it's a little nicer. It's a little easier to digest. What is not cool to digest, and I think is kind of bullshitty, is the precedent that they're establishing with these game prices. That's where it is. So, 450 coming out June 5th, which is quite honestly right around the corner. I'm genuinely surprised by how right around the corner that is. And pre-orders launch next week, in literally a week, April 9th. And, if you're wondering, like, David, are you going to pick it up right now? Well, hold on, before I get to that. The reason for why the console is actually pretty nice on the eyes with that price tag, 450, is because what's not nice on the eyes is knowing that they are fully confident in thinking that they can charge $80 fucking dollars for Mario Kart. $80. And it's Mario Kart. It's not Tears of the Kingdom level of like. And I saw the beginning of the of the direct and how they led in with Mario Kart. I was like, oh, they're starting with Mario Kart World. It's not called Mario Kart 9, although is it the 9th entry, or is it considered? I want to believe that it's the 9th entry, because if they're charging $80, it's got to be the 9th entry. And I'm thinking about the features. I'm thinking about what they're adding to Mario Kart World, and the whole time I'm still thinking to myself, I'm sorry, but bumping the player count or the racing count to 24 and then giving it that Grand Prix feel of jumping from racetrack to racetrack across the world in game is not enough for $80. Am I crazy? I don't think $80 when I saw that game. So what the fuck are you smoking, Nintendo? Here we go. And Nintendo heads, the diehards, they're gonna eat it up. I know it. And like I said, it's the precedent, because you know who's watching this and going, oh, word? We could do this? Take Two. With and Rockstar with that GTA 6, and now they're thinking, oh, okay, so we can charge $100. Hey, Bobby, put that go ahead and put that $100 price tag on there. Yeah, look, Nintendo's doing it. Yeah, and you already have people on the internet saying that they're willing to spend $100 on GTA 6. Now, does it make sense for GTA 6? Kind of, sort of. In fact, I will confess that I would probably be amongst those that would pay $100 for GTA 6, because with a game like GTA 6, where you're literally dealing with a sequel 12 years after the release of the last one, it's like, when is GTA 7 gonna come out? Probably in another 10 years. So $100 now, and you get to play a game that's probably gonna last you a good 70 and 80 hours, 100, and it's probably gonna have all this online content supplying it later. It's in the the breadth of scope. Okay, Mario Kart though. You mean to tell me there's only gonna be a $20 difference between Mario Kart World and a GTA 6? It's like, So, David, are you gonna pick up the Switch 2 eventually? Day one, though, it's not looking likely. Cause hold on, let me look up the lineup here. What was the Switch 2 lineup again? Besides Mario Kart World? Bogus ass. Lineup. Here we go. Mario Kart World, that Welcome Tour thing, Survival Kids, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, which I already have Yakuza 0 installed on my PS5, and the Director's Cut is probably not going to be enough for me to double dip. It's not. I'm sorry. Yeah, just bring me to the list. Survival Kids, Arcade Archives 2, Fast Fusion, Bravely Default, Flying Fair. I don't know what that is. Like I said, the main ones is Mario Kart World, and then maybe Yakuza 0, and then that Welcome Tour interactive experience type thing. Outside of that, that's it. Now, old games that will then get ported over to Switch 2 and let you play on Switch 2, Street Fighter 6, Hogwarts Legacy, Cyberpunk 2077, Split Fiction, which I still haven't played, and Fortnite, of course. And then those Switch 2 editions that come with upgrades, both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Civ 7, and Rune Factory. So the launch lineup, I gotta be honest, is not terribly strong. And then on top of that, you're gonna be charging $80 for Mario Kart World. And then on top of that, the reason for why I'm live today to begin with, because the last time that I was live with you guys, I mentioned that it was going to be a while before I was live again because I was starting a new job that was going to be taking place 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends I would be filming content for actual long-form videos. Needless to say, the reason for why I'm live right now, in the literal middle of the week, middle of the day of the middle of the week, Wednesday afternoon, is because sadly within the past 2 weeks I've been unemployed again. Things just did not work out with the position. You know, I was hired on not to do what I thought I was gonna do. I thought it was I think I mentioned in some of those videos that I filmed in my car during lunch breaks to talk about like some of the McFarlane stuff, some of the Marvel Legends stuff, and you know, things that are breaking in the community. I would explain that the reason for why I was in the parking lot is because I can't stream because I was doing that job. I was trying to put on a brave face, but in all honesty, I wasn't vibing with the job because it was sold to me as a content creator position, and then in the month that I was there, I literally created nothing. I was mainly hired on as a set of hands, because they actually already had a content creator who was spearheading all of the actual content creation. Every time they brought up ideas, every time they wanted to film something, it was thrown to him. And I mainly held up lights or held the microphone. And more often than not, whenever I did, he kept saying that I was in the shot, even though I was in the place that he wanted me to move to. He was, in my opinion, difficult to work with, and at the same time, like, he was just so awkward. That combined with also some awkwardness happening with some other coworkers every time I tried to like provide some ideas. They brought in a consultant to kind of mold the social media marketing department of this job, and he asked me and the other content creator for ideas, and literally all of my ideas got rejected. All of his got approved. Gee, I wonder why. So like I said, for a good like 3 weeks or so, I was just hands, you know, just moving stuff. And then towards the end of that month, they wanted to go on like this big trip to Florida, which some of you hear and go, is if it's paid for, you know, for hotel and flight, I mean, that's awesome, right? And I'm like, first of all, even beyond this job, I hate traveling because dealing with people, dealing with the logistics of like the airport and driving, in the case of driving, or in the case of flights, like I said, what can you carry? What do you have to throw away? Going through TSA, doing all this and that, I absolutely fucking hate it. And then on top of that, knowing that there was going to be another content creator and I was just going to be there, and they told me that I was just going to be building bikes and build and assembling things together. Um, there was just so many signs, and then on top of that, my both my mental and physical health was going down, um, to the point where I was like starting to feel constantly sick. Um, and when I say sick, I mean like I felt like I had a cold or something, but I knew nobody around me was sick. Um, so I was like, my nose kept running. I felt weak, felt kind of dizzy coming home sometimes because keep in mind that this office that I was going to is about an hour and a half from where I live. So not only is the shift 8 hours, but then you're adding an hour and a half at the beginning and then 2 hours at the end because of all traffic. You're dealing with like a 12-hour day. So I'm waking up at 7, coming home at 7, and then in between, I'm either eating a quick piece of toast because I'm running out of time. I don't have time to like make an actual breakfast. And then during lunchtime, I'm either eating an apple and a protein bar or a frozen dinner from the local Stater Brothers because we're only given 30 minutes, or Jack in the Box or Subway. I barely had any. There were a couple of days where I had like leftovers to take and such, and but I can, and then cup of noodles or something. But I can feel like my physical health going down, and both my mom and my girlfriend and everybody around me were able to see it. They were like, "Yeah, I can see like bags under your eyes." Losing sleep because I was so used to being a night owl that trying to switch that around, it's even a month in, I was still having trouble. And so before this whole flight to Orlando thing was gonna happen, I was like, "Can we talk?" And that was where they were like, "Hey, this is it. If you don't like it, I'm sorry." So I'm like, if you guys are that like willing to release me, I'm like, all right, then. That morning that we were supposed to report for the flight, I just didn't go, and I'm like, guys, I can't do this. And so we parted ways. And that was I think almost 2 weeks ago now, actually. Exactly Wednesday, now that I think about it. Yeah, that was exactly 2 weeks ago. And in that time, like I said, I fell into a little bit of a depressive state, and I knew that I'm in no mindset to be streaming. I can definitely try to like mask it enough for some of the content, especially when Inart hit me up saying, "Hey, we're sending you the 1/12 scale Dark Knight Rises Batman to review," and I was able to like perk myself up a little bit more for that. But yeah, in terms of like the world of employment and where I'm at right now, in that sense, it's not looking too brightly. So that explains why I'm here to do a live stream for you guys in the middle of the afternoon. We got quite a bit of topics to get through. I have a Google Keep loaded up, and also for why to answer my own question. And then some of you are going to pick up Switch 2 at launch. Probably not, to be honest. Even though it's tempting to like RSVP on the Best Buy page, but at the same time, I'm like, it really just looks like it's gonna be Mario Kart World, and $80 for that thing? No. And plus, I have actually perfect. Why is it on? Has it been on this whole time? It's my original Switch. I haven't played it. It's got literal dust on it. I legit cannot remember. Let's kick it out my allergies. I legit can't remember when I last played this. But it's on. And this is not even the OLED edition. It's not even the upgraded battery edition. This is the 2017 model. Technically, me and the girlfriend bought it in 2018. But being bought early 2018 means that it's the 2017 model. I believe the upgraded battery version didn't come out until either like late 2018, early 2019. But I bought this early, like February or March of 2018. So that means that this has to be the very, very, very basic 2017 Switch model. Still has a very thick ass bezel. And I can't remember the last time I played it. So why in the hell am I just going to put down almost $500 right now to buy Switch 2 when A, the price of Mario Kart World literally disgusts me, and B, I'm probably going to barely touch it. Whereas I have like a bunch of PS4 slash PS5 and Xbox games to get through. And then on top of that, I'm trying to double down on YouTube in hopes of going full time sometime soon. Especially with all the conversations that are happening. Then I'm like, why? God damn, why is it still on? That thing is resilient. It's one of those cases where, like, I turn it off, but then a slight little nudge in the dock, and then the dock plugs itself back in. It like does this thing like that, and then it automatically turns the switch back on via the USB-C. Ridiculous. All right. Ultimate Merc Productions, welcome to stream. Legends. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Because right on time for this comeback stream, Hasbro had a post stream, fan stream, whatever you want to call it, yesterday on good old April Fool's Day. Did you see the new digital McFarlane wave sold out on BBTS in literally 5 minutes as they went up? First of all, welcome, Tom. And secondly, did they really? And out of all places, BBTS, who's already kind of biting us a little bit with these tariffs, I almost want to say you guys are right, because I went to the homepage and I do not see them on here. And generally, a rule of thumb is that if they don't show up immediately on the homepage, that means that BBTS is trying not to advertise them, because then they know it's going to annoy people to see it on there, but then be greeted with the pre-order sold out page. Where is it, though? All right, let me go to DC Multiverse. Ooh. Tumblr diecast model. I never seen that. All right, found McFarlane. It's hiding the sold out. Well, the collector's editions are sold out. I mean, are they even... Let me go to their Twitter. Well, let me go on Twitter and pull up Paternia. Good old Paternia. Paternia. Personally feel like they're pretty reliable on generating... am I having a stroke? What the hell's going on? Let's see, GameStop. Put up links for GameStop. Put up links for... Oh, here we go. Knew it. Still available on GameStop. I don't want to say anything right now, because this is kind of feed a little bit into... Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. I just see it right now. Sold out. How did that happen? I almost want to feel like there's only a limited amount of spots or units. Fascinating. Ooh. Yeah, so that's curious that they're already sold out. $90 is for the physical Mario Kart World. That's insane. Wait, okay. Is that true? Because I did see somewhere else saying that $80 is going to be for the digital, and then $90 is going to be for the physical. But the reason for why I'm like, are you sure? Is because Best Buy does have a listing up for $80. But then again, I checked out that listing a few minutes ago, or prior to going live. It doesn't specify that it's either for the digital or physical. So later on, they could be like, oh no, this is the digital version. You want the physical? $90. If they do that shit, that's almost an automatic, like, yeah, you guys can keep it. Maybe, like I said, later in the year, closer to holiday time. And I know what they're also trying to do. They're also trying to sweeten that deal. By offering a bundle, because there is going to be a bundle that's going to come with Mario Kart World that goes from $450 to $500. So then you get Mario Kart World for $50, so $30 discount, which sounds sweet, but it's only a solution to a problem that they created by marking Mario Kart World at 80. Why is it 80 to begin with? It sounds more appealing, but it only sounds more appealing because they made it that way. Yeah, so it's slowly starting to kill my hype for the Switch 2, which is a shame because the actual tech in the system is pretty awesome. It's like I said, it's inching towards being competitive towards the Steam Deck, but right now, I think I'm quicker to rebuy a Steam Deck OLED because then you get the 450, 650, $200 difference, and yet you get way more storage, more intuitive controls with the touchpads, an OLED screen, upgradable storage, so not only better, more internal storage, double from quadruple from 256 to a terabyte. But then if you want to add another terabyte, you can put the micro SD. You have the ability to swap out the SSD for something faster, and then of course this is a very niche pro. It's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. There's gonna be some people out there who don't care about this, and I don't blame them for believing so. But with the Steam Deck, you can either just play default Steam games through your Steam library or hop on over to that Linux system and go emulating away. And I'm like, trust me, when I had the Steam Deck OLED for a little while before I sold it, there was a great amount of emulation that I was already starting to go down the rabbit hole on. Can you do that with the Switch too? Mm-mm. Daniel S., welcome to the stream. Sorry to hear about the job. Keep your head up, bro. Your content is great. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, and that's the thing. It was, not only was I not doing content creation, but I was also still falling back. Like, there were times where I was at the desk with the monitor and, my brain was going back and forth between telling myself to stop bitching because you have a job, and there's some people out there who don't have a job, don't have money coming in, like, stop being ungrateful. I was having that imposter syndrome thing. But then the other half is like, yeah, but I'm also not thinking about the money. I'm thinking about, like, am I happy here? And I just looking around and going, did I just trade a cubicle for another without even knowing it? And you know who did that? My parents. And you know what they are right now? Fucking miserable. I'm like, I know I'm getting money, but, and like I said, my health was going down, and then that's where a little bit of apathy was starting to set in, because I was thinking to myself, like, okay, so this is how it is. You either get money and your health goes down, or you keep your health, you keep your happiness, but you're broke. America. Sorry. Depressing tangent aside. I'm guessing the people into the classic versions, and since he is losing the license, people are stocking up. I'm really excited for that classic Deathstroke and No Man's Land Batman and a few other of the other ones. Yeah, I'll get into a little bit of WonderCon because I know it's already been a few days. So I finally explained as to why I'm back and, why it is that it took a while. Another thing that I wanted to do before I went live is to be in a really good place with the InArt 1/12 scale Batman figure, which they did send over for review, full disclosure. And before I started watching the Switch Direct, I was actually going ham, like for like a straight hour and a half editing it. And I'm at a place where I'm like, I think I actually might be done by tonight before I go to the gym, which means hopefully I can leave my computer rendering the video when I go to the gym. And so when I come back, rendering is done, upload it, metadata, thumbnail, and you guys watching the stream right now get pretty much a sneak peek, not into the review, but just you guys get the first bit of breaking news here. That InArt review might actually go up tomorrow morning. Hopefully, knock on wood, nothing impedes it, but so far I am set to post the InArt 1/12 scale Batman review, which is a chunky one. I think right now it's clocking in at 55 minutes. It's just a little short of an hour. I swear. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Yeah, it's fully in. I go in because we got to talk about InArt like that. And you know what's funny? I'll tell you guys this right now. It's 55 minutes long, and yet there's still no comparison section in that review. It's just reviewing the figure by itself. And I thought to myself, it's already long enough that I'm going to have to make the comparison its own, much shorter, much more compact, but I feel like it has to be its own video. Because in that comparison, I'm not going to compare it to just one figure. I think I'm going to be comparing it to like 3. Because obviously we have to compare it to the direct competitors in that space, that prosumer space, which is going to be Ace Age Figure Arts and Mafex. And Mafex made 3 versions of the Bale Batman. And I'm only going to be including 2. If I'm being honest. There's only going to be 2 in there. I can tell you that right now. So Figure Arts, Mafex. And then for shits and giggles, because I know that they're, like I said, in a different demographic, different budget. But just for shits and giggles, as like a retrospective sort of thing, I'm also going to toss in the McFarlane, naturally. And then we're going to throw it all the way back to 2008 with Mattel's Movie Masters Dark Knight Batman from 2008, which I have right over there. I don't have it in box, and I don't have all the accessories, but I do still have the figure right over there. So I'm going to bring that up. So I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4... other figures to compare it to. At one point, I was thinking about waiting even longer for the Beast Kingdom to come out, but I'm like, you know what? Beast Kingdom is like 1/9. It's like or 1/8, I think. It's like even taller. It's like this. So I'm like, that's way much taller. It's like 9 inches. That I'm like, that's a whole other scope that I don't think that's even worth putting in the comparison. So I'm like, nah, just the other 4 figures. That's it. Just to kind of show how far we've come in that time, leading to what could be considered one of the more definitive, if not the most definitive, 6-inch scale Batman, Christian Bale Dark Knight Trilogy Batman figure there's ever been. So yeah, potentially look for that in-art review, that 1/12 scale Batman review tomorrow. But yeah, it's crazy that these Fidgetals already sold out. Now, whether or not I'm going to review them, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to review all of them. But there's one of them that, stay tuned. That's all I'll say. Holy shit, they sold out. Dude, who said that? Tom, you said that they sold out on... Oh yeah, NEE, yeah. Okay, yeah, you did say EE. Because I thought you only said Big Bad Toy Store. No, they're also sold out on Entertainment Earth as well. Like I said, I wonder if there was only a set amount of an assortment or something. That is nuts. The only one that I partially regret not pre-ordering, but only partially, is Kingdom Come Superman. Only because I have the Kingdom Come Batman. And so that probably would have paired really well. Now, speaking of these pre-orders going live, not only do we have a shit ton of stuff that went live, but I also got a lot of stuff that came in or is coming in. So I already mentioned in art 1/12 the Batman. Earlier in the week, I think it was late last week actually. Yeah, I think it was like Friday. Couple of things came in from McFarlane, some stuff that was already ready to ship. I was like, I thought these were pre-orders, but McFarlane at the McFarlane Toy Store already has them up. If I could find them, hold on. Already kind of see a little bit there in the background while I was kind of like moving about. Batman Final Suit Mega Figure. Chunky boy, and very impressionable. I honestly really do like how it looks. Final suit from Justice League: The Sixth Dimension. Gotta be honest, not very familiar with that storyline, so I have no clue what the context of the suit is. I just think that it looks cool. When I saw those photos go up for pre-order, I was like, that looks kind of neat. I want it. And so I woke up that morning and then noticing the green add to cart button instead of the blue pre-order button, I was like, already ready? And sure enough, the next day I got the shipping notification. I was like, God damn. So I don't know how McFarlane got their hands already on. But then again, we also have to consider, we also have to ask the question, how do some people overseas already got their hands on some other figures? Like the way everything's trickling out is a little confusing. And then part of that same shipment, Batman 1 million, which looks neat, but at the same time, I can already kind of tell, I can already kind of pick apart certain pieces from some other Batman. So that Superman Batman head, that's World's Finest, I think, or no, the blue one, where he's got like the padding. It's basically Superman dressed up as Batman. You know which one I'm talking about. It looks like it's kind of the same head. And then the torso kind of looks a little Three Joker-ish, Hush-ish around the legs. But then color-coded differently. Smoothed out. They smoothed out the bat symbol. And then just had this like collar piece around the shoulders. Which does look kind of neat design-wise. So, I don't know. We'll see if maybe I feel a little bit different. Speeding Bullets. Yes, thank you, Johnny Shen. Speeding Bullets. That's what it was called now. The Speeding Bullets head. But with a fabric cape. So yeah, eager to see how I feel about it. Who knows, maybe out of the box I'll feel a little bit differently. Right now, like I said, and then you'll have the Hush Batarangs just tossed in there. So I'm like, we'll see if this guy was worth the jump on there. So we'll definitely be making content out of that. Some other things that also kind of came in here. Target had a little bit of a cool little sale last week, or the week before actually. I think it was even earlier than that, where certain figures from both McFarlane and Marvel Legends were on sale. And there were two that I was like, let me bundle these together, and they came out at a pretty like cheap price. One of them is back there. I don't feel like getting it, but basically it was the McFarlane Wildcat, which is a figure that I was waiting to go on sale for a while because I was like, I kind of want that figure, but I don't want it at full price. Not at the $22.99. And then this other figure was also another one that I wouldn't have minded owning, but not a full $25 price tag. So I waited, and finally Target had this sale. And then the sale also bundled with a Target Circle offer that was like, you'll get even more discounted. And that's the Marvel Legends Chameleon, the retro card. And I love this J. Jonah Jameson mask. But the overall build of the figure doesn't look too bad. It feels weighty. And he's got the guns. I was like, alright, he's got weaponry. This is not a bad looking one. So when I saw this guy, was approved for that offer, bundling it with the McFarlane Wildcat. I think Wildcat came in at like $11. And then this guy came in at like 16 or 17. I was like, yeah. And free shipping. Well, free pickup. I wanted to pick this guy up because they were going to charge for shipping. But when I ordered this guy for pickup, apparently it was the Target that I wanted it to be picked up at. They couldn't find it. And they were like, well, we don't really have it. So you can either pick it up at a different store, which no other store had it because it sold out quickly because of this offer. Or we can ship it to you and we'll go ahead and waive the shipping fee that was originally there. It'll be free shipping. I'm like, all right, free shipping, ship it to me. And they did have it to ship, and the shipping was free. So I was like, all right, comes out to about the same. Cool. So yeah. And then literally, I wasn't going to show this, but it came in right before I went live. I was like, yo, perfect timing. Screw it. Let's unbox it here on camera. Make sure I don't show my shipping, but brown box, brown shipper box. from Entertainment Earth. So let's check on the status, and if the status on this is good enough, then we shall be canceling some other pre-orders for this exact guy that I don't need. I thought I was being bamboozled here because Entertainment Earth threw in this little cardboard and it says April Pools Day. Surprise, you just got biddy pulled. Okay. Oh, it's those pop biddy pops. Yeah, I don't care. Oh, they actually threw one in. Okay, I'll leave you guys in suspense. Let's find out what this biddy pop is first. Collect them all, and it's basically Deadpool with like a different assortment of outfits. Huh. I thought it was like a thing just to buy the biddy pops, but they actually tossed one in. That's cute. They actually threw one in. Biddy Pop, Deadpool, Biddy Pop. Ha! Comes in a nice little box. Alright, let's see which one I got, guys. Let's see which one I got. Feels like I'm eating a snack. I respect it. Heavy Metal Deadpool. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see. Can it focus? Is autofocus on? I don't think autofocus is on. So let me... How do I fix autofocus? I have no fucking clue. Let me bring up the Logitech software, which is handling my webcam right now. I don't think it's going to work. Yep, camera not available. Sorry, guys. Oh, wait. Did I fix it? Nope. No, I didn't. Well, you guys can kind of make it out a little bit there, right? The exposure works, but not the... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. Heavy Metal Deadpool. I actually kind of like that. I mean... I actually like... Not all metal music. Certain variances of heavy metal. I'm more of a classic rock guy, but if you want to be super general, I like rock music in general, so at least a variance of that heavy metal music. Deadpool, I dig it. You know what I mean? Like I definitely would have preferred this over the Caesar Deadpool or the Clown Deadpool, the Barbecue Deadpool. So yeah, out of all of them, I'm like, you know what? This is actually one that I don't mind getting. All right. So that's included there. Actually, let me just put it back in the bag. But this is not what I ordered. Like I said, this is a freebie that they just threw in. This is what I ordered. Wrapped in the white paper here. I just closed that Logitech thingy. It's here. Rather minty box, actually. Poetic that I am wrapping up the InArt 112 scale Batman review that is MSRP'd for $51, and yet on the same day arrives another venture for $51. So the battle of the value will then come into play greatly. How does that cracked out head look like? I did see some people online saying that the cracked out Peter Parker head looks better in person. It kind of does. Kinda. Still looks funny. All right. I guess I know what I'll be playing with this weekend to start working on this review. And admittingly, yeah, I do like the package. I do like the look of the package, but is that enough for the $50 price tag? Because like I said, this combined with what we've been talking about with Mario Kart World now being $90, $80 to $90, I'm like, guys, what is happening right now? Eggs? Egg prices and all that. So yeah, Maximum Spidey is in. It's here. One more look for whoever hasn't seen it. Yeah, which is a perfect segue to talk about this Marvel Legends April Fool's stream. Now, somebody in the chat did mention it earlier, your reaction to Val Kilmer passing. Yeah, so really quickly, a good old RIP to Val Kilmer. Very sad way and very cruel way to end April Fool's Day, because you read that headline and you go, okay, guys, that's too far. But then again, who would go that far, especially when it's goddamn Variety and Deadline putting it? I'm like, would they risk this? And yeah, sadly, it was real. So, it also doesn't like not make sense. It was like, yeah, dude had throat cancer. He lost his voice. He lost all part of this right here. And so something like pneumonia could definitely provide heavy enough complications that someone could legitimate pass from that. And unfortunately, that got to Val Kilmer at the age of 65. So one of our underrated Batman. He may not be like the most preferred, but if there was one thing that he had that I think now over the years we've come to really respect with his interpretation of Batman, it's his voice. He was, the way that he was able to go from Bruce Wayne to Batman with the voice, I was like, yeah, we do not pay respect. Because Keaton, I know people love Keaton, and for a lot of people, Keaton is their Batman, but when it comes to like the voice, he just kind of whispers. And you could almost make the same argument for Pattinson. I like his Batman voice, but at the same time, it's just him whispering, bringing the octave lower. And he wasn't really doing much to disguise it when he was Bruce Wayne. We barely even got him as Bruce Wayne. Clooney was just Clooney, as either Bruce Wayne or Batman. When he was Batman, it was just, hey, freeze, I'm Batman. That's it. And then I think over time, people have grown to hate Bale's smoker's voice. And then I think there's a great amount of division when it comes to Affleck's modulated voice, which is baked into the universe, where he's got a legitimate voice changer inside of his cowl. So when it comes to like definitive voices, everybody thinks of Conroy, I would arguably say. But in my opinion, someone who I think has come to get a really cool Batman voice and people have grown to respect the Batman voice, it would actually be Kilmer. So rest in peace to the Iceman. Because amongst, Batman Forever, it's also the other stuff that he did, where my girlfriend brought something up that I think is a very interesting point, which is that he was, handsome, pretty, had that movie star quality look, but he never approached the roles like that. He never just wrote of him being pretty and be like, I'm handsome, I'll get roles anyway. It's like, no, he acted. He put in the work. So outside of Batman Forever, Tombstone, Top Gun, obviously. I still haven't watched Top Secret, but every time I watch a clip from Top Secret, I'm like, I really need to sit down and watch this. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. the doors. You know, so many roles where it's like he could have phoned it in, but he didn't. He wholeheartedly did not. So yeah, the Saint, all that stuff. You can tell that he was acting. You know, he wasn't just riding the coattails of being pretty. It's like, no, I'm actually gonna, you know, create a reputation here. He did. So yeah, it definitely stung when I read the headline in real time when I was with my girlfriend, and my head just sank, and she was like, "What's wrong?" She could tell that something was visibly wrong, and then I told her, and she was like, "Oh," she was hurt as well. So yeah, that's my little tribute, and I didn't really want to take up too much space in either a video or a community post, because I think it would have felt much more natural to do it live in the live stream, since I was gonna do a live stream anyway. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Didn't think I was gonna sound like Forrest Gump talking about that. So let's change the mood a little bit to bring up this Marvel Legends stream. Let me swap screens here. Here we have the Marvel Legends April 1st stream, which was, I think, roughly about 30 minutes. It says 43, but the stream didn't really start until like 6-7 minutes in. No, 10 minutes in. Jesus. Yeah, so 10 minutes in, we have, of course, the usual guys. They did, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it. They did a little damage control by bringing forth a prototype. How often do they bring prototypes on screen during these streams? Unpainted prototypes. Because I'm going to do a little bit of a tinfoil hat theory here. This is kind of a reaction to some recent, I don't want to say accusations, but some people were theorizing that the reason for why they were doing 3D renders is because initially people were saying, are they just using the Wolverine body from Deadpool and Wolverine and then just painting it red? And I think they wanted to get across that and be like, we're not doing that. And in order to control that, they brought this forward. The unpainted, because I'm like, how often do they do this? Not very often. So it was a little strange that they wanted to speak on the... I almost want to say that this was not part of the stream. And at the very last second, they were like, let's talk about this Daredevil. We have an unpainted prototype? All right, let's talk about the unpainted prototype. And they also did it to sneak in the Billy Club. It's part of their next... By the way, you know, what is he looking at? He's not looking at the figure. He's looking at something else. Because you have Dwight, like I said, teasing the Billy Club. That's going to be part of that whole role-playing thing that they've been doing recently with, like, the Green Goblin mask and the Pumpkin Bomb, and then the Doctor Doom mask, which was revealed recently. It looks like the Daredevil Billy Clubs are going to be next. $100. Watch. But what is he staring at? Ryan. So it's like cue cards? It's like, talk about this. By the way, can you guys hear that? Oh, you guys cannot hear that. There you go. Test up audio. Let me lower that a little bit. No, it's not crazy. And let me also make sure that you guys are not getting... Okay, it's not monitoring. Okay, good.
Dan was able to get some really nice reveals, actually. We're going to take a look at.
Yeah, and my overall opinions about the stream was that it was it wasn't really all that bad. You know, confirmation of Thunderbolt figures with, again, 3D renders. They don't look too bad, though. That's the one thing that I'll give them, is that they're nailing some of the facial expressions, especially with the ink jetting thing that they got going on. I'm like, yeah, that actually does look like Florence Pugh and David Harbour. And then naturally after that, they're gonna get Wyatt Russell's John Walker. Body-wise, doesn't look too bad. And I did think it was pretty interesting. I'm sorry, but potential spoilers here. Our first look at the Sentry from Thunderbolts, even though the marketing material with the trailers and the TV spots have been very adamant at hiding him, and the closest we get to him is as the Void. So I'm like, you sure we should be showing this during a Marvel Legends stream? But there's the suit. Sorry guys, but spoilers, I guess. There it is. By the way, is it just me or are my filters... Where's my scene here? Let me just make sure that my webcam has the proper filters on it. No, I don't. I'm like, why am I so dark? Let me add... It's got sharpen. Where's color correction? Here we go. Also, yeah, you guys lost the screen here. Hold on, I'm fixing something. Oh, that... God, I screwed. I messed something up. You guys can't see anything. Okay, hold on. Let me switch back to... God damn it. Hold on. I know what happened. Okay. Oh, you're adding it to the wrong... Yeah, no, that's not what I wanted. I was adding the feed. Delete that. Go to webcam. Bring up my filters. Okay, so I do have a... Then why do I look so... There we go. Brighten it up a little bit. There we go. Not that much, though. Yeah, like... Let's do 30. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. There we go. All right, bring it back. Actually, before we do that, check on the chat. Okay, chat's not going. Nothing new in the chat. Thought there'd be something new in the chat. Yay. Okay, so yeah, Thunderbolt stuff. And then we get to our first big, like... And then my hype quickly died. Because when I woke up, this stream happened at 11 a.m. Eastern, so that was 8 a.m. Pacific for me. And so when I woke up, the stream had already happened. And naturally, I go into Twitter and Paternia, Toy Shiz on Instagram, Toy Bro on Twitter. We're sharing photos of this that percolated me and made me go, holy shit, Bully Maguire is finally coming to Marvel Legends. Only for me to then quickly get drained of any hype after realizing that it's just the same body from the No Way Home Tobey Maguire Marvel Legends figure. And the guys kept saying, it's a brand new torso, brand new torso. No, the fuck it ain't. No, it's not. Because all you did was just take the same torso and you just resculpted the symbols on the front and the back and then painted it black and silver. In terms of like the actual mold, it's the same with the same birthing hips and everything else, and the tooling of the shoulders with that little ugly like flap on the shoulders leading to the butterfly joint. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Am I missing something? And then as, they flexed it, as they moved it about, I'm like, yeah, it's the same figure, just black and silver. Like, I've seen some people already do custom jobs on the subreddit, on the Marvel Legends subreddit, better than this. I'm sorry. And then you give us the Toby head, and not only is it it's the same Toby head, but you just shaved off the hair and added the black emo hair. Again, pretty certain I've seen people do custom jobs better than this. Now, I know what some of you are already typing in the comment section, either as a separate video segment or in the chat, thinking this. David, you run a YouTube channel that covers Marvel Legends Spideys. You're picking this up already, right? So what are you bitching about? Both things are allowed to be the same. You realize this, right? I'm allowed to bitch about this, and I'm also allowed to pick this up so I can bring you guys the review. Because two things can happen. One, maybe the figure feels better in hand, and I could be proven wrong. Or two, my complaints and the things that I'm seeing here at surface level and the criticisms that you may or may not have expected, because some people are like, oh my god, we're getting emo Peter. Gotta be honest, after finally letting some of these images sink in, the hype quickly died for me, and I'm like, oh shit, no, I got some complaints. It just looks like the same No Way Home Toby figure, only black and silver. And sure, we get the hooks of the enlarged symbol from Spider-Man 3 and the cool looking not only the little symbiote piece, but also, where's the box? Give me the box. Here we go. The nostalgic look to the to the packaging, because if you guys remember, when Spider-Man 3 came out, that's when Hasbro took over from Toy Biz. Well, not the exact year. It was like Hasbro's induction into Marvel Legends in 2007. Because prior to that, I think it was in 2006, Toy Biz then gave, or either 2005 or 2006, Toy Biz then handed over the rights to Marvel Legends over to Hasbro. They kept the name Marvel Legends, but it was like a different amalgamation of things, and that's when we got those very small 5.5-inch quarter figures. Actually, I think I have them in the corner. Hold on. Son of a bitch. Look at this. Look at this. All right. Cool. Let me actually swap the camera so you guys can see. This is what happened. 2004, because this is specifically the Zipline Spidey from the 2004 Toy Shiz. Not Toy Shiz. Toy Biz. Sorry, Toy Shiz from Instagram. Toy Biz, who used a similar logo from 2004, 6-inch, proper 6-inch Marvel Legends. And then this was Hasbro when they took over in 2007 with a 5.5-inch, or 5 1/4, or 5.5. So notice the discrepancy there. You can see the 1/2-inch difference right there. So this is what we had. So I can already tell you what I'm going to be comparing this to when this releases. And arguably the paint apps are probably a little bit better. Well, actually, I think the quality of the paint apps are going to be better. But is it accurate though? Is it accurate though? I gotta be honest, I don't know, because aesthetically, I do like the black on this new version, but if we're going for accuracy of what we saw in the movie when he finally gets the black suit, I think they had it right the first time, ironically in the wrong scale. And sure, we got the Toby emo head, but it's from what I can tell from those photos, it's the same Toby head that was released on the No Way Home set, just with the black hair. We got the symbiote piece, but then we got the same hands, the alternate head, or the basic mask head. And then, funny enough, sure, pre-orders go live, in fact, tomorrow, probably at 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Western. Hasbro Pulse and Mainline, which means it's probably going to be across the board. Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Amazon. But what's going to be that price? It better be $24.99. Don't change things, because if you guys mark this up to $30, we're going to have some problems. We're going to have some problems, because right now, the hype is dwindling for me as it is, seeing as that now it's pretty much a bit of a glorified repaint of the No Way Home, only with the appropriate head sculpt and the little symbiote piece and color coordination to mark Spider-Man 3. But at the same time, I now pose the question, did they have the color correct the first time? And like I said, ironically, in the wrong scale. So it's like we can't have the perfect Spider-Man 3 figure. We either get the right scale with the Toby head, but the wrong black, or we get the right smoky gray silverish black that you saw him sport in the movie, but it's the wrong scale and it's got the weird asymmetrical hands where you have like a holding hand but then the web shooting hand and then no ability to swap them in weird proportions as well, because look how massive, let me swap it, look how massive the torso is and look how dainty and tiny the head is. Mayfix. SH Figure Arts, Mayfix. If you guys want to get back into people's good graces with the slight little issues you guys have been having with the No Way Home Toby, maybe it's time to throw it back to either 2004 or 2007 with a black suited Spidey and the proper emo haircut. Because, yeah, I thought I would be much more hyped for this, but unfortunately I'm not. It's starting to dwindle a little bit, but we'll see. In order to still deliver on that content, I will be pre-ordering. Because like I said, I know that some people are out there like, if you don't like it, then don't buy it. I'm a content creator, and I'm sorry, but the people who often post those comments, the fact that I can check out your channel and not see any videos automatically makes me a better content creator than you, which means it gives me the ability to shed light on whether or not this is a good pickup or not. Because what do you want? Me to not say anything and have like 10 people give $25 a piece to Hasbro for this? Or I put $25, I make a video saying that the figure's not that great, and out of those 10 people that were going to give $25 each to Hasbro, amounting to $250, 6 of them still go through and buy the figure, but then 4 of them are like, oh, I saw David's video and I take it back, I don't want it anymore. And then they end up, me including, that 7 people instead of 10 giving $25 each. Which one will at least create an effect? All right? Which one? Right? So if you don't like it that I'm, putting in the money to at least create a content, to at least create a return on investment, then you make the video. That's what I have to say to those people in the comment section, because my God, it never made sense to me, those people. Now, as far as the rest of the stream, for me personally, it kind of peaked a little bit, but there is still a little bit of a dialogue to have, because afterwards they revealed a velocity suit. It's funny because it's using that old school, well, no, it's not. That's the original velocity suit from the first Spider-Man. So now for Spider-Man, so they're just reissuing the velocity suit, just with the weirder looking blue, but the same sculpt. Everything else looks the same. Yeah. Just reissuing it with a different blue and some added web effects. Even though I probably would have preferred that extra web effect. And it was part of a Build-A-Figure line. So they're just reissuing it as a Walmart exclusive, naturally. Pre-order later this year. I don't know why we have to wait so long for a figure that's already been out. You just repainted it. I don't get it. But then we get into X-Men stuff. I do think that the Weapon X figure, even though it's kind of a reissue as well because we already had it before, is being brought back, but with like added features. So like remove the helmet and the little pipe and stuff. It looks pretty solid as far as the build, but it is going to be a Target exclusive, so gonna have to probably track it down for people who are into that. Same thing as a Target exclusive, this Mystique retro card style, the Uncanny X-Men with the guns, surprisingly, and a Jean Grey head. It looks solid, but like I said, it's not for me. I'm good on those. And then we got this 2-pack who's playing Money in the Bank there, the AIM suitcase with the money, and Crossbones Amazon 2-pack. Like I said, I personally didn't care for it, but probably tickle somebody's fancy. I'm slightly tickled by the She-Hulk. If you know, you know. So intriguing with the alternate heads. Really well done as far as the paint apps and the sculpt. And this is, it's funny how they didn't touch They didn't mention anything about this being the figure that they were teasing with the dumbbells. But we can kind of put 2 and 2 together from these visuals here and see that this was the figure that they were teasing. Yeah. And then finally, this was a biggie. Speaking of Maximum, again, keeping within the theme of the Maximum series Spidey arriving today, a day after the reveal, well, everybody was expecting already via like leaks and speculations, the next entry in the Maximum series, and that's Maximum Hulk. Standing pretty tall and pretty girthy. People are speculating that this thing is going to go for $60. Does it look like it's going to be worth it? I don't know. $60, it sounds a little obscene for a Marvel Legends. But when it comes to Hulk, the amount of plastic, the weightiness, and to me, the big thing that I look at and go, okay, that's actually kind of neat, but I don't know how much of it they're going to incorporate it throughout the figure. It's that whole silicone mesh layer that they put on top of the torso. So there's a moment here that they articulate the figure. And sure, you know, they're trying to sweeten the deal with this, like, break apart missile piece that I personally don't care for. I'm like, all right, yeah, you got to break apart missile piece to make it look like he's either shooting it back or dismantling it. And it's going to come with alternate heads and alternate hands and the clapping effect to, like I said, kind of add value to that overall package and live up to the Maximum line. But the thing that stood out to me as going like, okay, if you guys are going to be incorporating this, you can't just half-ass it and do it once and then never do it again. I'm like, nah, I expect this to be brought back. Come on. You guys have the money. You guys are charging crazy. Where does he do it? There's a moment where he moves the shoulders and you can see the slight elasticity of that rubberized. Oh, right there, right there, right there. Look, he presses on the figure. Right there. Right here. So I do think that that's actually kind of cool. That's actually a little bit nice. I respect that. Is it enough to warrant that $60 price tag? I don't know. And on top of that, I'm not the biggest Hulk fan. So some of these like specific head sculpts with like the curved hair and the specific art style to the head, I don't know if it speaks to me. The only thing that, like I said, speaks to me greatly is the build quality of the figure, that mesh skin on top of the torso, and then those clapping effects. And they were also making it a big deal about his hands are now able to touch. And I'm like, you guys are describing it like a feature. To me, it sounds like a problem that you guys needed to fix by just making the fucking figure. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like a problem you guys made. And now you're like, well, now we can do this. I'm like, yeah, well, you should have done it before. Here's the shot. This is the shot that I was thinking about. Where he's like flexing the torso. You can kind of see that. Yeah, that right there. Like, it does look neat. But going, in 50 to 60, $10 increment from Spidey, I'm like, that wouldn't be terrible. It wouldn't be like a steal, obviously. And again, I'm not the biggest Hulk fan, so I don't really anticipate picking this up for myself at all, really. But it's definitely something to watch out for as far as what Marvel Legends is doing as a company. And they're keeping thematically tied to the same style of box. There you go. But of course, naturally, it's going to be green instead of red. So, yeah. Now, if they bump it up to like 70, that's where we're going to have to pump the brakes a little bit. Because if we find out that this thing is 70, I'm like, I don't think I see enough to warrant jumping from 50 to 70, if I'm being honest. Because, yes, you got the 3 heads. How many hands, though? 6 hands, technically. Fists, gripping, and clapping. And then you get the effects, but at the same time, I'm like, so how much was the mesh material on the torso? Because, yeah, right now, So pre-orders April 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Western, April 10th. So next Friday? Yes. No. Next Thursday. Sorry. Next Thursday. Available at Amazon and fan channels, meaning BBTS, Entertainment Earth, and Pulse. So everywhere except brick and mortar. So no Walmart, no Target, which are frankly the only two. So again, I'm like, and yet you guys are still not listing price. They're probably going to do it the same way that they did it with Spidey through a comment on their Instagram. And I still think that that's kind of shady. Leading us to a accessory tease. Some people online have quickly already deciphered that this is a Juggernaut effect from Marvel vs. Capcom. So, and it fits perfectly. And then this is Psylocke. Initially, I was going to say Gambit. Because if you look at some of these bits right here at the front, it looks like that's where cards would be attached to. And they did, because if they had left the cards attached, it would have been too obvious that it was Gambit. So part of me wants to say it's Gambit. And they removed the cards to not give it away so easily. But some others have said it's a Psylocke tease. So I'm like, yeah, it could also be Psylocke. Either one. It's either Psylocke or Gambit. This one for sure is Juggernaut. I don't know who this is, though. It's very generic. Human Torch? The Fantastic Four movie? Did they say where the next stream was going to be? No, they didn't. So that was it. So that's why I wanted to breeze on through it, because like I said, it was I don't want to call it bloated with stuff that I didn't care about, because just because I didn't care about it doesn't mean that others didn't, especially that Hulk, because from like a analytical perspective, it's something that we are going to have to keep tabs on as far as what the maximum series is going to do, because similar to what Nintendo's doing, pricing Mario Kart at $80, possibly even $90, I'm looking at Marvel Legends the same way, where I'm like, okay, when is enough? Because with that Hulk, 60 would be, if Marvel Legends, Hasbro, if you guys are watching this, 60, not 70, because I'm not seeing a $20 increment justification. I'm not. Timothy Robertson, welcome to the stream. It's like we are barely getting classic figures, and I believe that's worth 45, honestly. Spider-Man 30, and the fact that it runs out of stock too fast. Well, I agree with you, except for the running out of stock part. Maximum actually surprisingly stayed in stock for a good while from certain outlets. I'm generally surprised. In fact, right now, I think Maximum Spidey is still available on Big Bad Toy Store. Now, that comes with a caveat, an asterisk, if you will. And that is that Big Bad Toy Store, and there's a part of me that kind of wants to use this as a really perfect segue into one of the things that I wanted to talk about during the stream today, which is the tariffs. In fact, fuck it. Let's just get rid of it right now before we jump into the McFarlane stuff. How do you guys feel about the tariffs possibly hitting collectors heavy? Because this is actually a perfect segue. Let me do this. And I had an article on Twitter that also would have been perfect supplement. Oh, here we go. Is it an article? Yes, I did. All right, cool. From it's from I didn't read who it was from. Cybertron.com, spelled SEIBERTRERTRON with an S instead of a cyber like Cybertronic. I remember I used to follow them all the time back in 2007 when the movie was coming out. Cybertron and TF something for like all the news on the Transformers movie. But how do you guys feel about the tariffs? Because keeping all the political stuff out of the way, because that's a whole beast that I don't want to tackle here, but keeping it specifically around the context of action figure collecting, we're starting to feel it. And who knows if maybe the increments on games for the Switch 2 is a symptom of that, or a domino effect out of that. But we can definitely start to see a symptom of that affecting action figure collecting, because guess who's already raising prices on figures? Big Bad Toy Store. And they're not the only ones. I'm not saying that they're the only ones and we should only focus on them. No. I got another example, another unfortunate example. But look at Big Bad Toy Store now. So, for those of you who were still in need of a Maximum Spidey, he is still available for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store. However, the caveat is that now he's going for $54.99, not $49.99. Yeah, and then on top of that, you still need to pay the $4 flat rate shipping, which is still by itself a cool thing that Big Bad Toy Store does, the flat rate shipping, especially if you do the whole pile of loot and you have a lot of orders in your shipment, a lot of figures in your shipment, but you put them all in your pile of loot and then you ship them all at once. It's still $4 flat rate. I'm like, all right, so you can divide that and mitigate the cost. But then knowing that they raised the price of some, and not just, here's the thing, you're thinking, oh, it's a Marvel Legends thing. No, it's just Big Bad Toy Store in general, because let me actually, hold on, I just had it right now. So, because when pre-orders went live for Maximum Spidey here on Big Bad Toy Store, he was still $49.99. And I think a couple weeks later, somebody on the Reddit, I think the Marvel Legends subreddit or somewhere, were like, hey, yo, they raised it. And it was $54.99. I was like, god damn. And I know this. And hold on, let me hide it real quick because I don't want to show any potential order information or credit card information. But right now, and I'm probably going to cancel it since I got a unit already from Entertainment Earth. But under my Big Bad Toy Store account, is there a way I can show this without... Yeah, you have the order number right there. I don't want to show it. You guys are just going to take my word for it. But I still have a pre-order locked from Big Bad Toy Store for Maximum Spidey that I put down when pre-orders first went live. And on this order, it still says $49.99. So thank God they didn't raise the price. Otherwise, it would have been an uproar. They haven't raised the price on existing orders. But anyone who didn't put a pre-order on, $5 more. Yeah. So I have the proof because my initial pre-order from BBTS was $49.99. But now when you check out the product page, it says $54.99. And the Maximum Spidey is not the only thing that is getting hit. Got a couple of others. I don't know if maybe it's because they come from China or Japan overseas or whatever. But let me see how I can do this. The Beast Kingdom Batman figures that are set for release in April, they are now $55.99. When I pre-order, I have these on pre-order as well. They were a flat $50, $49.99. Now they're $55.99, $6 increment, $6. They were not $6 more. They were $49.99 when I pre-ordered. And right now, after my spiel earlier of mentioning that I'm no longer employed, part of me wants to cancel the pre-orders because these are pricier figures at $50 each. So I'm like, I don't know if I have enough money and time to review them, so I want to cancel them. But if I cancel them and I reorder them later, they're still available for pre-order, but now they're $6 more. I'm going to have to pay $6 a piece more. So do I let go of the pre-order or do I keep it so I can save money? God damn it. I'm getting affected. I'm feeling the effects. Are you guys feeling the effects? I get it, so I don't mind. Things will be better in the long run. How so, Johnny Shen? Because I gotta be honest, I just don't know in that long run sense. The outcome that I foresee, to an extent, is that we're just gonna have to be more pick and choosy with figures, and some sacrifices are gonna have to be made. I mean, look at what I'm saying right now. There's already a pre-order that I'm willing to, that I'm getting tempted into canceling, but at the same time, the only thing that's keeping me from canceling is knowing that I'll lose the quote unquote discount that I had before when I first thought I was pre-ordering it. And then, speaking of McFarlane, there's some, okay, so McFarlane is interesting because actually this is perfect example. McFarlane's doing the same thing. It hurts to say, but McFarlane is doing the same thing. And Marvel Legends is also doing it with other figures that are not part of their Maximum series. Black Cat from the upcoming Spider-Man 2 wave. I know for a fact that when I pre-ordered this was $24.99, now it's $27.99. Or I think $25.99 initially, and now it's $27.99, $2 increment. Yeah. In fact, let me go back to my pre-order. Yep, my pre-order says $25.99, but now if I go into the product page, it says $27.99. So another reason for why I want to keep the pre-order, unless Amazon ships first, because I think Amazon was selling it at $25 flat, $24.99. So even Amazon would be cheaper, or Entertainment Earth. But let me go over to McFarlane Toys, because I believe McFarlane Toys also raised the price on some figures, both on their storefront, their personal McFarlane Toy store, and also in other retailers. But only with certain ones, not all. And it's a little bit of a wish-wash when it comes to McFarlane, that it's curious as to how they're doing it. So let me find some good examples, because let's say, for example, on BBTS, let's use BBTS as an example for a storefront. Collector's editions, ever since he started doing this line, this specific tier of figure for the DC Multiverse, the collector's editions have always been 30. They've always been 30, even higher than what would you call it? Build-A-Figures. They've always been 30. So right now in BBTS, the year 2 collector's edition is also 30. Flat 30. I'm like, all right. Oh, were they always 30? Were they 25 or were they 30? I think they were 25 and then he raised them to 30, but that was before the tariffs. Actually, I take it back. Yeah, I think they were 25 and then a few months after he started doing 30. But those before the tariff things. So technically, collector's editions were not affected by the tariffs. They've stayed at 30. You know, this wasn't like an overnight thing. They started at 25 when they came with like the bases for the cards, but then when he started including more, he got rid of those bases and he started including like alternate heads and extra hands and extra accessories. They went up to 30. What has seen an increase that was recent in like the past couple of weeks, and we're all thinking, oh, there's the tariffs hitting again. Standard figures, $25.99 for the basic 1 million Batman, the one that I just showed. And on their site, I believe, go over to their site, DC Multiverse. Ooh, okay, so this is a standard figure. These, for a good while, ever since I think I want to say last year, they've been $22.99. Ever since he started doing cloth capes or fabric capes, $22.99. When he got the license and we got these standalone figures, they were $20, $19.99. And then eventually he added $2 or $3, but then at least we would get more accessories, not in this case, but in other figures they would get more accessories, or they would get felt goods, like the felt good capes, the wired fabric capes. So I'm like, all right, $2 extra, but you're giving me a reason for why it's $2 extra. Now on their site, on their very own site, $24.99. The price of a Build-A-Figure, but this is just a standard figure. Yeah. And I'm trying to find it. I think somebody posted it on the Reddit that they did put out a statement, but I can't find it right now. I'll have to like pull it apart on a separate occasion. But this is just a standard figure, and now it's at the price of what used to be a Build-A-Figure entry. But again, it's funny that at least he's not doing it across the board. I'm not condoning it 100%, but it's curious that it's not across the board because, go back actually, we just saw it right next to it. Here's that mega figure that I just showed you guys. The Final Suit Batman. Same price as it's always, as mega figures have always been, $39.99. This hasn't changed. So I'm curious to see, and I know that we're never going to get a clear answer on this because it's very insider business type of thing. And at that point, you could go to jail for inside business trading. But I'm curious as to what constitutes, what gives, motion, what leads to the decision of looking at a mega figure and saying, oh, we're keeping that price the same, but the basic figure is now the price of a Build-A-Figure. And I'm not saying that, and it's frustrating, but at the same time, I'm genuinely asking for an answer that, like I said, doesn't compromise any kind of like legalities or NDAs being broken or anything like that. That would be awesome to hear, because, after a while, it's going to become a catchphrase. It's going to become a meme. The tariffs. Just saying the tariffs. Oh, because tariffs. Tariffs. It's like, you can't just take a full-blown explanation and then just compartmentalize it into a solid word. Tariffs. So, yeah, this is intriguing. And then going over back to BBTS. So, yeah, and then BBTS, because they've always kind of upcharged a little bit extra to afford the flat rate shipping, goes even further by going $1 more, $25.99. Even more than a Build-A-Figure. Now their mega figures stay the same, $39.99. And then there's that Beast Kingdom. Beast Kingdom, which honestly, if anything, is probably going to be the one of the ones I'll keep, because unfortunately, R.I.P. Val Kilmer. And the Batman and Robin one. And then this leads us to an article I had here pulled over on the side. It's not even that full of an article. But it's Hasbro confirms collectors will be the ones most impacted by tariffs. This was published on March 5th. Almost a month ago. Ooh, and perfect. Oh my God, perfect timing. The U.S. government has gone through with its tariff thread yesterday with more reciprocal tariffs to come April 2nd. Today. While yesterday's tariffs impacted China, the ones starting April 2nd may impact Vietnam, and both these tariffs will impact our Transformers hobby the most. I honestly feel like you can apply this to Marvel Legends, DC Multiverse, etc. Chris Cox was, I feel like Chris Cox is such a common name at this point, was interviewed specifically about tariffs as it relates to Transformer toys. During this quick interview, Chris Cox confirmed two things. Any additional costs due to tariffs will be passed on to the consumer, not the manufacturer, to avoid a high price hike on toys targeting mainly kids. Toys that target collectors will have the larger price increase because, yeah, in terms of like the amount of people that buy figures, the adult collectors are the ones that are going to have the adult money, so they look at that from a perspective of like, oh, you guys have money? Then pay us a little bit extra if you genuinely want this collector's edition. Little 5-year-old Billy doesn't care about articulation or detail. He just wants something to like hit to each other. So they're not. Why would they raise the cost on that if the parent knows that they're just going to break it? So, and at the end of the day, not move product, because the goal for these companies at places like Target, Walmart, in some cases maybe Best Buy, but mainly Target and Walmart, is to move product. It doesn't matter about the quality, because at the end of the day, like I said, little Timmy is going to be breaking this shit. So they're not going to raise the prices on those. They're going to raise the prices on the stuff that we want. And we want to collect. And this hobby is about to hurt more. To the point where you either have to decide if you want to eat for the week, or you want that new Spider-Man figure or that new Batman figure. And fucking sucks. It's the one thing that ever so often puts me at a bit of a trance after like taking a shower and I'm not ready to like jump into editing or jump into filming or even playing a game or anything like that. I just kind of sit in my room here, look around some of the figures that I have over here ready to be filmed, and I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Because this is the kind of shit that makes me question that. The language used by Chris Cox strongly insinuates the Generations Transformers line, since that's the type of Transformer toys that targets all ages and not just kids. Hasbro believes that demand from collectors is more inelastic, meaning it's less likely to change if the price increases. Yeah, because, like, with kids grow up, and then, that toy that they really wanted to bash together, the next year they're onto something different. They want to do something else. 1 year they want to be a rock star. The next year they want to be a YouTube influencer, content creator. But then after that, they find out that they want to be a mechanic. Now they're into cars. They're not into action figures. They're not into NBA players. They're not, Whereas us collectors right now, I know what I want. I want Spidey. I want Batman. Oh, okay, so you're going to pay the $50 for the maximum Spidey, right? It's like an addiction. Like, yeah, we could quit, but guess what we're going to start doing? We're going to start throwing up, metaphorically, having headaches. The withdrawals of being a collector. In bold right here, it says, collectors will have to make up for the increase in costs of all lines, not just what they collect. So we're carrying an extra bale of hay on our backs. And like I said, perfect timing, April 2nd, starting today at the time of the stream. And the timing is just insane considering, like I said, how much stuff is pouring out of McFarlane right now. Because like I said, we have the final suit, the Batman 1 million, the year 2, the variants, the fidgetals that apparently sold out. And then going back to something that I kind of... Did I touch on when I did the WonderCon video? I can't remember if I did. But there was that instance where we had some leaks from McFarlane Toys. And then to stay ahead of the leaks, they just went ahead and said, hey, it's up for pre-order now. The GameStop figures. Let me go down to their feed where the games... here they are. These things. The GameStop exclusives of the Grim Knight. Now, the Grim Knight and Killer Croc set. Now, whether or not it's going to stay as a GameStop exclusive, I have no idea because these graphics don't have the logo on it. They don't have the GameStop exclusive logo. Now, the Batman Cowardly Lot does have the GameStop logo. But the reason for why is because when these went out for pre-order, it was the same morning as the Kingdom Come Page Puncher Superman and the Woman of Tomorrow Page Puncher Supergirl. But then these two just came out of nowhere. And McFarlane was just like, oh yeah, they're available for pre-order now. It's like, was there any build-up to this in the week prior? No. No, none whatsoever. That's why I'm like, is he trying to stay ahead of the leaks? And in the process kind of crashing out? Because like I said, this guy, available for pre-order at GameStop now. No logo, no GameStop logo. Did he forget to put, did the marketing team forget to put that on the graphics? And then that combined with like I said, so many other, and then these were also not only were they initially leaked through like Hong Kong manufacturers, but they were shown at Toy Fair last month. And then out of the blue, oh hey, you can enter to, well, this lottery by the way already ended. Some people already won. Congratulations to them. I contemplated it, but then I'm like, do I really want these or is it just FOMO? And then finally I deduced it was FOMO. I didn't enter. But out of nowhere, these went up for the EQL Run Fair. And I'm like, no pre-order to buy them separately, no, just dumping. And I'm like, guys, what is going on? And I'm saying this from a place of concern because I genuinely do like McFarlane toys. I just don't want them to crash out on what could be alleged, potentially, the last year of McFarlane holding the DC license. I don't want the reputation of McFarlane Toys to be the company that crashed out because they were losing a license. I don't, because I generally like them. I really do. Not a toy, because these things come with guns. And then speaking of these collector's editions, how long these were already being spotted out in the wild at Walmart's prior to the pre-orders going live. So yeah, I'm really hoping that McFarlane's not crashing out. And then they're making the Batpod and Batman set exclusive to Target. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, let me go and scope out some Targets in case. That's how, like I said, so many of these things started being dumped out in the wild that when I saw this graphic go live, not immediately, but later on that evening, I checked out some Targets just in case, because I'm like, what if this went up and then some employees already started putting the shit out there on shelves? Frankly, there weren't any. But I know that some people either overseas have gotten them in hand, or some people here in the States have gotten them sent over as sample units from McFarlane themselves. So I'm like, this guy's already material, so how long before Target gets it? And will there be an actual like announcement for pre-order, or are we just gonna have to wait until we go and get our groceries or Target to then go to the toy section and then find it without even knowing? Because to me, the thing that always kind of hits a little bit of a paranoia to me as a collector is knowing that I go to a place like Target to get either water or any kind of food, snacks, whatever, and I walk out without checking the toy section, and then later on I find out that if I had just checked the toy section, I could have found something like this. That's like one of my greatest first world fears as a collector. So yeah, and it's just like I said, leading to this feeling that I'm just hoping to God that McFarlane Toys as a company is not crashing out, especially when a lineup that was shown at, yeah, here we go, R.I.P. Val Kilmer, of course. Now I feel like we need to make good on a Panther suit, McFarlane, if I'm being honest. Anyways, yeah, we kind of need the Panther suit now, and that thing will sell now, which is kind of a morbid thing to say, since one of the things that it'll probably feed into that is the fact that we unfortunately lost Val Kilmer. But this is how it crumbles. Yeah, and especially with all those WonderCon reveals, which I talked about already in its own separate video. Guriel Daniel, welcome to the stream. Hello there. And I want those releases to be solid, specifically the Batman Returns release, because so many people are stoked for that I just don't want there to be a crash out in a release schedule for that Batman Returns release, amongst the other things that they also showed, of which, like I said, there's some that I didn't really care about. There was that particular slide that had a bunch of figures like Kite Man and a bunch of other characters that I'm like, yay for the people that are stoked, but I'm not. I don't really care for any of these are right here. Okay. By the way, in case you guys didn't know, 1300 Dan Yun, and yeah, but it doesn't look right. It needs to be a buttoned. No, I mean it has to be like an all black suit. It has to be all black. Come on. But yeah, I want to go over it. Here we go. Paternia. The reason why is because I want to go back to his feed of photos from WonderCon, even though I technically have my own photos, but I'm already here. Oh yeah, we still haven't talked about that. Shit. Oh well, yeah, the Daredevil suit, which looks nothing like Charlie Cox. I'm sorry, I don't know who the hell that is. Pfft. The rest of the suit doesn't look too bad, but oh my god, work on that head sculpt. I feel like that's terrible, honestly. Anyways, back to WonderCon and the McFarlane reveals. I really do want them to go all out with that Returns wave. I do like the Cyborg Superman and the New 52 Superman. I do like the looks of those. I do. This just looks like a black and red repaint of the Azrael. Like, I'm kind of over it. This is the slide that I'm like, happy for the folks that are stoked, but I don't care for any of these guys. The only one that probably carries a little bit of weight as far as whimsy is Kite Man because of the kite. But outside of that, it's really about the returns wave. And like I said, I have my wish list that I mentioned in that video already. As far as wanting Watchmen, wanting Arkham Knight and Arkham Asylum Batmobiles, and a couple of other things. But you guys can refer to that video, that wish list video that I talked about when I was in the car talking about it. And here, the No Man's Land Batman suit, okay, maybe. Part of the next wave of Fidgetals. But then that's it. And maybe Batgirl. Batgirl looks kind of neat. That's it. Out of that set. And then we, of course, have a new animated series wave. I do like the look of the Grey Ghost in a classic Batman. I wouldn't mind these two. I don't know about the rest. That Killer Croc ab crunch piece, what the hell is that? I am not going to lie. That thing looks ugly. How did I not notice that when I saw that? Jesus. I guess I must have been on like a adrenaline high from being there that I didn't notice that goddamn Killer Croc torso hinge. I do like also, I'm not the biggest Wonder Woman fan, but I do like the #1 classic suit right there. Actually, that looks pretty neat. And Superboy. But again, like I said, I found myself very indifferent to an awful lot of these slides. So, yeah, I really do want them to not be in a crash out state on what could, like I said, be potentially that last year of McFarlane Toys having the DC license. Because, like I said, I genuinely do like them. I generally do like this company at the end of the day. And Batman Returns could be a wave to go out on strong. Now, granted, when did let's go back to that. When did they say? When are they looking at it's like the summer, right? Yeah, summer 2025 for Batman Returns. So I'm speculating June, July. And then, even then, we still have another year to go. So, again, hopefully enough time for maybe to make do on the Kilmer Panther suit if they do decide to do that, especially now with his passing. It'll be like a nice little tribute. The Batfleck suit from Justice League. Oh my god, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Brian's new dishwasher, thank you for the $10. With the eyes. Thank you. You should save the $10 for your new dishwasher, though. But thank you. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. So, yeah, I mean, still looking forward to that Returns wave, but I just don't want them to crash out as far as like the management side of things when it comes to releases, pre-orders, because like I said, it's been a little scattershot. That morning when I saw those 2 GameStop exclusives go live without any kind of like build up or letting us know ahead of time, I'm like, what is going on? And then the I have it right here. The Killing Joke, which I actually did pre-order actually through a means of a hookup. I'll let you guys know more about that in due time. But I actually do have this coming in, especially since I did part ways with the Criminal and Clown versions of the 3 Jokers. But seeing a direct Killing Joke replication, I'm like, man, I like the texture work on the suit. I like the camera inclusion. But even this guy for a little while got delayed. So I'm like, yeah, as far as like the actual design and creations of the figures, I'm loving. And what they're announcing as far as properties, as far as iterations, all that stuff. But in terms of like the management side of things, as far as when pre-orders go live, what makes an exclusive, is the red platinum sticker actually holding to what it's supposed to represent? Because there's been times where that red platinum red platinum sticker, for example, was for like Scarecrow, and that's supposed to be for like a much rarer figure you can only find in store. And yet, not too long ago on Reddit, I saw somebody post a photo of like a huge shelf of like nothing but scarecrows from the Batman Begins wave that are supposed to have the red platinum sticker, and I'm like, I thought these were supposed to be rare. What's going on? So yeah, I just don't want there to be a crash out with McFarlane toys. That's what I'm praying on, because I really do like them, but the management, like I said, the management of the releases as far as pre-orders, the timetables, managing all that. I don't know if, like I said, maybe it's tariff management where you have the tariffs coming in and they're looking at like the prices of what they have to set things on, and then having discussions with WB while they're having discussions about the tariffs while also having negotiations about the license going forward, and they're trying to juggle all these balls that I'm like, careful, don't juggle too many balls. Handle your balls. Handle the balls you have now, and then worry about the other balls later. So yeah. Mr. Live Streams, big bro. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was gone for a little while because I did pick up a job that was 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and as I mentioned at the beginning of this stream, obviously since I'm here, kind of means that the job didn't work out. Later on, when this goes up as a VOD, you can watch the beginning because I did go somewhat in depth. I didn't want to go into like full details, but I did kind of break down a little bit more broadly, or I'm sorry, a bit more specifically as to why it is that things didn't work out. Okay, so listings for the Switch 2 are up at Walmart. Tears of the Kingdom on Switch 2, $80. Come on, fuck you. Like I said, I'd rather just stick with playing it on my Switch. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Not you guys, Nintendo. And also, I really want to see where that confirmation is of Mario Kart being 80 digitally, but if it's physical, it's 90. Can someone confirm that? Some people are saying that no, it's still going to be 80 physical. Physical or digital, it's going to be 80. And then Donkey Kong Bonanza is going to be 70 physical and digital. This is insane. Any of you watching right now, you guys are picking up the Switch too? God. Walmart's got some listings up already. Let me show you guys. Voice is starting to crack. So yeah, and this is how they try to get you. First of all, I love that the cases are red. I don't love the giant amount of real estate being taken up by the banner. They could have just kept it in the corner like they did the original Switch logo on the case. Like just shrinking all this down. Jesus. But at the same time, the general population of the human species is getting stupider and stupider, so they gotta make it bluntly clear that it's for the Switch 2 and not the Switch. $80. Street Fighter 6, $60, but it comes with all the fighters they've been releasing thus far as part of the passes. So I'm like, all right. But this is how they get you. Look at this. $80, but if you get the bundle, you get it for $50. a $30 discount. Again, for a game that they already overpricing to begin with. They could have just kept it at 70 at least and made it a $20 discount. Maybe even 60 like the original Mario Kart 8 did on Switch. But no. And then this doesn't come out until July. Because out of all of this right here, initially this until I saw the price tag. And then towards the end I saw this and I'm like, oh, this is cool. I still don't know how I feel about 70. And on top of that, it doesn't come out until July. I might as well just wait for like the holidays or what. Well, maybe not the holidays. Because I know that that's when everybody else is going to want to pick it up. But like September, October-ish. And that's if my financial standing is a little bit better. Yeah, man, this is insane. Okay. Yeah, I gotta start building, oh, god damn it. My, that's the thing, like you mentioned, Brian, miss your live streams. I miss them, too, but I also need to start getting back into the habit of developing my stream stamina and my voice to go on for that long, because I'm already starting to lose it again. And plus, we're about to hit the 2-hour mark, which is actually pretty surprising. I thought I was going to end a little bit sooner. And then on top of that, I got through all the topics that I had on my Google Keep, but while I was going through my Twitter, I realized that I forgot to talk about some of the CinemaCon reveals regarding Spider-Man Brand New Day and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. No, I'm sorry, Beyond the Spider-Verse, which has finally been given a release date of June 4th, 2027. So a little over 2 years from now. And if it sounds far away, but at the same time, keep in mind that Across the Spider-Verse came out 5 years, or maybe like 4.5 years, because Into the Spider-Verse was December of 2018. Across was summer of 2023. So that's 4.5 years. Yeah. So almost, so 4 flat years later, June 4th, 2027, Beyond the Spider-Verse. Okay. So we got that, a little bit of artwork with Miles G. Morales going up against Miles Morales. Apparently they're looking into like new animation styles and things like that. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. I did notice that there was a headline that said that this was all revealed by Phil Lord. However, Phil Lord was by himself without Chris Miller. So I was like, hopefully there's no trouble in paradise there. And then with Brand New Day, Tom Holland coming back. I keep forgetting that Destin Daniel Cretton is directing, who directed Shang-Chi. So he's taking over for Spider-Man 4. And I'm like, it kind of makes sense. The choreography could be awesome. Apart from that, I don't think we know any other details except for the rumors that Sadie Sink might be joining. The release date, July 31st, I think, 2026. And Brand New Day, is it going to be adapting the actual Brand New Day comic, or are they just lifting the title because it's part of a famous, or rather infamous, Spider-Man comic, and it's also mimicking where we're going forward with Spidey, which is that at the end of No Way Home, everybody forgot who he is, so it's kind of like a soft reboot of sorts for Spidey inside the MCU. And they're doing it the same way that they did with Daredevil Born Again, where it's called Daredevil Born Again, but it's not actually adapting the Born Again storyline from the comics, because technically they already did that in season 3. This is just taking the name because it's a popular name for Daredevil stuff. Speaking of which, I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of a hot take. I think Born Again right now is kind of fine. Now, I'm not fully caught up. Everybody keeps saying that episodes 5 and 6 are amazing. I'm literally right there. Me and the girlfriend watched episode 4 last night, and I'm like, so far it's the epitome of fine, but it's just making me want to go back and rewatch the Netflix show. And I'm like, damn, man, that's not how I should be feeling right now. It's not. You know, it makes me a little bit sad. Even though I don't think this show is terrible or anything, but the whole time I'm thinking about moments from the Netflix, and I'm like, yo, I'm watching the new one. Why am I thinking about the old one? Gonna give you that heart right now, Brian. Forgot to do that. Yeah. So hopefully things will change as the season goes on. Like I said, people were touting 5 and 6 to be awesome, and so hopefully either tomorrow or Friday, me and the girlfriend will check out 5 and 6. Because I know that they're actually the reason for why they were released with each other is because they're actually kind of short. They're like 40 minutes each. So or shorter. So it's like, okay, we could probably watch those back to back. And then a few days later, 7. By that point, probably 8's gonna be out. So, and then we got the finale, 9. But I'm telling you right now, if we hit that finale, and because here's the thing, I don't know if this is considered a spoiler, but the litmus test for me to be like, okay, this is not gonna be the Netflix show. They're dropping F-bombs in the show, but none of the F-bombs are being said by the main characters. It's all just secondary characters off to the side, some basic people on the side or in the background or whatever. And then what I told myself is, if Punisher shows up and he does not drop an F-bomb in a show that's allowing F-bombs through, come on, man. And spoilers, I finally saw episode 4, which has the introduction of Punisher with John Bernthal. And they're doing that cringy shit where every time that they want to say fuck, they replace it with goddamn. Like, goddamn it, goddamn you. Like, they have like goddamn 3 times in the same sentence. And I'm like, nobody talks like this. And that reminded me of the Netflix show, where as much as I loved some of the Netflix shows, either Punisher or Daredevil, you would have characters saying goddamn in a way where you're like, I know for a fact that you want to say fuck you, but someone at Marvel says you can't say fuck, even though Jessica Jones showed full thrusting from the back during sex scenes, and then Daredevil shows someone's head getting mushed to a pulp with the car door. But you can't say fuck? What is this? And now it looks like we've been bamboozled again with Born Again, saying, oh, it's TVMA. Yeah, but how much of it? And remember Echo? They were like, Echo is TVMA. Is it though? Is it? Like, none of it feels gritty. None of it feels textural or natural to the environment. It doesn't. Anyways, that was my last minute Daredevil Born Again rant that I was not planning on. Because that kind of segued from my take on the Brand New Day Beyond the Spider-Verse news. Because there's not much more that we can really extrapolate on those for now. But my stomach is raging for some food, actually. I'm actually quite hungry. And I'm looking at the time and I'm like, yeah, it's actually been a good 5 hours since I've eaten breakfast. So I'm going to call it there, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Brian's New Dishwasher, thank you for the $10 and for dropping in. Timothy Robertson, Johnny Shin, Guriel Daniel, Tom, Daniel S. A lot of Daniels today. Nerdy Daddy, and Ultimate Merc Productions. So, and everybody who lurked and watched the stream, thank you for dropping in. I'll let this thing process and see which moments I would like to cut out and form separate videos on for people who don't want to catch the VOD or didn't manage to make it in time or weren't thinking that I was going to come back at all. But unless things change drastically or I pick up another job somehow, some way, looks like the streams are back. And they are fun, but like I said, I just wish that it was under better circumstances, apart from knowing that things didn't work out with a job that initially had me hyped, only to realize that it wasn't what I thought it was. But what can you do? Alright, guys, I'm out of here. Take care, stay humble, and look for that in-art review, hopefully, knock on wood or whatever this table's made out of, tomorrow morning. I'll see you guys there. Peace.